Hello, my name is Simon van der Beek. I'm an ecopreneur and sustainability consultant, and this time I'm traveling from The Hague in the Netherlands to Sweden, and I'll show you how to do it. It's nice to tell you that getting a boat from Denmark to Sweden simply is not the most sustainable thing to do, because they will definitely use some form of fossil fuel. But what is nice is that they use full electric thrusting to move away from at the start and at the end. So they use a battery powered system to get away from the I don't know the word kade in Dutch, from the starting point. So that doesn't really determine the emissions of the whole trip, but it's certainly a good first step. The challenge with these big forms of transport is that the weight that has to be taken away is that has to be transported is so big that you will need some form of, at this point, hydrogen solution or whatever. It's simply not doable full electric on such a long trip. I think it's a 4-hour trip. And as a transition, it's okay to use hydrogen, but in practice at this point, hydrogen is just a form of natural gas. That's why Shell really likes the scenario of a lot of hydrogen, and I don't. You can make hydrogen in a sustainable manner, but actually in the Netherlands 90% of all the hydrogen produced is fossil fueled. So that's why Shell likes this scenario. And if you really want big transport to move, you will need some form of hydrogen solution. Other options, by the way, are forms of biofuels. So for example, using corn or other stuff, you can make fuel and you can use that fuel. That's not a great option, because of course it takes what you could also eat, or what you also could give to animals to eat. So there are three big options for big transport, and that is hydrogen, forms of biofuel, and full electric, which means batteries. But at this point, the energy content of batteries is not enough to transport big objects like this one. It will probably go that direction, but it will take, my guess is 10 years. And until that moment, hydrogen is a fine option. Also for flying, by the way. We should stop using fossil fuels for flying, in my opinion. If you look at the science, we should just stop using fossil fuels.
Välkommen till Sverige!
During this vacation, this is my bag full of cables, and actually I'll show you. All of these cables are useful for something. This is handy for my phone, this is handy for my laptop. Now the point being is not that I have a lot of cables in my bag during this vacation, because it refers to a question that one of the viewers asked, and the question was, if you drive a full electric, what kind of cables do you need? Are there indeed different kind of cables like you have with mobile devices? How does that work? So I'll show you in a minute. But how many plugs are there for electric vehicles? Well, in Europe those are 4 types, and we're getting towards 1, but until now it's 4, and I will show you. Here you can see 3 chargers. This is the AC plug. This is being used for fast charging a Renault Zoe, but only a Renault Zoe. So this cable is Renault Zoe only. The cable we're using now is called Chademo, which is typically, you know, a Nissan Asian kind of plug. And then we have the CCS plug, combined charging system, CCS, and this is really the European plug. And there's one other plug left, which is the Tesla plug, and the Tesla plug is not here. So if you would have a Tesla, you would have a challenge, unless you have got a new Model 3, which also uses CCS. But the older Tesla types have a 4th plug. So, you know, we talked about mobile devices, and I think it would be good if we would move to one single plug for all devices. And I think we're getting there with the so-called USB-C protocol. But you know, we should also be doing this for electric vehicles. But luckily, it's already going the right direction. It's probably CCS which is going to win, because all the big, especially German car manufacturers, put in CCS. Tesla has already said they will also use CCS. They're doing that for the new Model 3, for example. So that's another aspect of the Leaf. You know, why did Nissan choose the Chademo plug, which is dying? It really is dying. AC will die, Chademo will die, and CCS will, you know, will stay. Which is good, because, you know, we need to make it more simple for people who are starting to drive electric. We don't want to make it too complicated, so it's good that we're moving towards one single plug, which would be CCS.